Greetings, YouTube. It's officially cool enough to have my sweatshirt make an appearance. Well, sometimes the bigots actually get to pay uh, for their crimes. And so we have someone that actually has gotten himself into a bit of a pickle. A California man pleaded guilty last week to threaten to shoot up and bomb dictionary publisher Merriam-Webster's offices over over its inclusive gender definitions and making similar threats to various other people and institutions, federal prosecutors announced. Now, this list is impressive, okay? Jeremy David Hansen. Why do they always have names like that? Just, I can't quite grab it. 34, admitted to threatening Merriam-Webster, the president of the University of North Texas, the Wall Street Company, the Walt Disney Company, the governor of California, the mayor of New York City, a rabbi and professors at Loyola Marymount University in California, according to an announcement from the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Massachusetts Wednesday. So he's not only a bigot, but he's a bigot that's willing to span the entire United States of America from sea to shining sea. He's astounding. Now, his argument essentially, and I use the word argument in probably the most absolute loose definition of that word applied to anything, is that gender identity doesn't exist. Now, it would be an intriguing world if it didn't. If we erased a gender identity completely and we didn't apply gender pronouns to anybody, everyone was referred to by they, them, and no one was forced or required in any way by any outside institutions or social constructs to present themselves to the world in any particular gender identity, it would be an intriguing world. I would watch that movie to see a world where people were free to express themselves and to identify who they are as any way they wish, and to present themselves any way that they felt inclined to do so. But we don't live in that world. And Hansen doesn't seem to be aware of that fact, because I'm sure if you asked him, what pronouns do you use when he filled out an application, he would say he, him. I'm willing to put money on that. Actually, I'm willing to put all the money on that. And he doesn't see that as a gender identity because he doesn't understand what gender identity is, and because he's never questioned his own. So he's cisgender. He's never wondered about who he is in that level, in that manner. So his privilege has been that he never had to consider it. He never had to put himself into the shoes of someone who is questioning whether they are a he, him, or a she, her, or a they, them. Never had to question whether they felt feminine one day and masculine another day. Never had to question for someone that felt that they had been born in the wrong body. No, he just came out of the chute, felt perfectly okay with what the world said he was. And when other people spoke up and said, hey, I don't, he found that deeply offensive and personal. And so his response to that situation was to threaten others. So much the way toxic masculinity has convinced the world that anger is not an emotion, he has convinced himself that gender identity doesn't exist because he's never questioned his own. It's pretty much that simple. He's also not bright, really deeply ignorant of the situation at hand, and got caught, apparently quite easily, because he used the Contact Us feature on the Merriam-Webster page to threaten them with bombing and killing and such. He's not what you'd call an elite hacker. No, not in the least. So I'm glad that he's been arrested. He's been pled guilty to his crimes, and he's facing 5 years in prison as well as potentially $250,000 in fines. I hope they give him the maximum. I really do. He's dangerous. He has threatened people over something that is none of his goddamn business. How someone else identifies themselves, what pronoun someone else wants to use, feels comfortable with, makes them feel at home in their own body, is none of his damn business. And they have no impact on his life. If I say he, him, how does that affect him? Not at all. If a friend of mine who says they, them, because that's appropriate for them, how does that affect him at all? It doesn't. But he felt it very personal. Well, the law has just said, well, we're going to get personal with you.